News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your First Alert Weather Update. We're still tracking, again, Michael as it heads through North Carolina now, bringing heavy rainfall there. Still a tropical storm moving off very quickly to the northeast now, and it's still dumping heavy amounts of rainfall in western portions of North Carolina. Also, South Carolina has had their fair share of some rainfall, and now it's moving to the northeast. You can see the explosion of storms just north of Charlotte, and it will eventually get out into the Atlantic and re-intensify somewhat. It's still also bringing some pretty gusty winds throughout that region. We are looking for this system to move off to the northeast. Top winds now down to 50 miles an hour. And northeast moving at 23. The pressures come all the way up to 991 now, and that's showing a weakening system. It's forecast to move out into the Atlantic over the next 48 hours and eventually intensify somewhat. Winds back up to 70 miles an hour as early as Friday morning. Well, in the tropics, we're watching several areas. Obviously, Leslie's still out there. Nadine heading to the west. The area in the western portion of the Caribbean is not showing signs of development right now. That's a good sign. And also, it's moving to the west, and so it should start to move over Central America. And so the chances of it developing are lowering now, down to 40%. They have been as high as 50%. The radar picture continues to show heavy rainfall near Raleigh and all the way up through parts of northwestern portions of North Carolina. We still have a chance for some showers here. There's a little bit of a convergence band set up out there in the Gulf of Mexico. A little miniature cold front, if you will. Yes, a cold front is going to be sliding through overnight, and that front will cool us down. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But as far as rainfall goes, there's a chance for a few spotty showers here and there. You can see that activity out in the Gulf of Mexico. Not a lot, but there will be a few passing showers moving on through, and it looks as though we will see a brief period of some moderate rainfall in some isolated areas. Some heavier storms down to our south with one of the convergence bands that have set up down over South Florida. That dry air that you see now moving through the southeast is going to slip in, and our rain chances will be lowering considerably over the next 24 to 48 hours. The weekend is looking spectacular, and as far as we're concerned, currently out on Holmes Beach, people are back to the beach, and the waves have calmed down. You can see the review there showing some folks setting up tents and getting in the water there. Well, much more in our weather forecast. Let you know how cool things are going to get. Could get into the 60s on Saturday morning. Details on all that coming up in just a few. Jacqueline, Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. Hurricane Michael, now officially the third most powerful storm to hit the U.S. coast, and has reached the Carolinas today as a tropical storm after tearing through Florida and Georgia.
So far, Michael is being blamed for killing 5 people and leaving nearly 1 million people across 5 states without power. Karen Kafa has the latest.
This hurricane was an absolute monster.
In the Florida Panhandle, sun after the storm and sorting through the aftermath of the strongest storm to hit the continental U.S. in more than 25 years.
Nothing. I never seen nothing like it.
Hurricane Michael slammed into Mexico Beach, Florida Wednesday afternoon with 155-mile-per-hour winds. This morning offered a first look at the storm's power and its destruction.
This was never in our imagination. This here, it was such a tremendous thing that I never imagined this was what's going to happen to our home here.
Along with Mexico Beach, Apalachicola also seeing some of the storm's worst. FEMA Administrator Brock Long said rescues are a priority today.
Right now, the focus is truly on life safety and making sure that we are helping people who may be trapped.
Hundreds of thousands of customers in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and North and South Carolina are without power. Michael moving through the Carolinas, bringing tropical storm force winds and heavy rain to some areas that took the brunt of Florence just weeks ago.
This storm will not go down without a fight. It is still a threat and should be taken seriously.
President Trump issued a disaster declaration for Florida, and the administration has pledged its support during the response and long recovery.
We are with you. We will continue to work with you until we rebuild and recover bigger and better than ever before.
I'm Karen Kafa reporting.
Well, throughout the devastation, Hurricane Michael has left many that need help from various services.
One of those services coming from Sarasota County. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo joins us live with how local crews are helping with the aftermath. Dwayne?
Well, Jacqueline, Scott, as damage continues to be assessed in areas that were heavily hit, first responders from Sarasota County are headed to North Florida to help these hurricane victims. The county sent 2 strike team units. Those units include 5 ambulances and 5 fire engines. Those resources not only coming from the county, but from the city of Venice and Northport as well. The teams include a total of 34 members heading to the Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee, where they will be deployed to areas where they're needed.
Ambulance strike team is up for a lot of different assignments. They could be moving people from assisted living facilities that have no power to shelters. They could be responding to emergency calls. It all depends on what the needs are when they arrive. And then for the fire engines, there's a lot of search and rescue missions to be accomplished. They have to go door to door to make sure that everybody is safe.
Now, coming up at 6, we take a look at other services heading up to the Panhandle. Also, a state agency going up there to help animals, displaced animals as well. Scott, Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials say water samples show red tide levels have dropped along parts of Florida's east coast from Boca Raton to Palm Beach. The Jupiter area was a red tide hotspot last week and registered as the highest concentration in South Florida. Red tide is normally limited to the Gulf Coast, but it has made its way around the peninsula. The latest report from FWC shows much lower concentrations and even no levels of red tide here in Suncoast waters. Jacqueline joins us now with an emergency landing after a failed Russian rocket launch. Jacqueline?
Scott, an American astronaut is alive after that rocket carrying him and a Russian cosmonaut into space suffered a failure. The 2 men blasted off in Kazakhstan for the International Space Station. Suddenly, that booster rocket speeding toward space at nearly 5,000 miles per hour failed. The capsule carrying the American and Russian was thrown out from the rocket and then landed safely hundreds of miles away from the launch site.
We are now hearing that they're in communication with the rescue forces on their way to the capsule and that they're in good condition.
The mid-flight failure marks another mishap for the Russian space program, which has been dogged by a string of launch failures and other incidents. Russia's deputy prime minister says the failure is now under investigation and manned launches are being suspended until they figure out what happened. Manhattan's district attorney dropped part of the criminal case against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein today. The judge agreed to dismiss allegations by one of 3 accusers in that case, Lucia Evans. Remaining charges include claims that Weinstein raped a woman in 2013 and forced a sexual act on a different woman in 2006. Weinstein says he is innocent and denies assaulting anyone. A San Francisco judge has ordered a new trial in the Monsanto case. Dwayne Johnson was awarded $289 million in August after jurors ruled Roundup weed and grass killer caused his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Johnson claimed the company failed to warn him of those risks, but court documents claim Johnson didn't provide clear and convincing evidence in the case. The judge has ordered lawyers to submit their legal arguments by tomorrow. While Hurricane Michael battered the Gulf Coast, President Trump took the stage at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Last night, Trump was in Erie to try and boost support for the Republican candidates in the state ahead of the midterm elections next month. The president looking back on the 2016 general election in Florida and Pennsylvania, saying the Keystone State is the one that got away. Even though Democrats still are not over the Supreme Court fight, they're now focusing on the midterms, zeroing in on health care and trying to protect the Affordable Care Act.
What we really are seeing from the Trump administration and Republicans is an absolutely relentless attempt to gut protections, especially for pre-existing conditions.
Even though Senate Democrats failed yesterday to eliminate the Trump administration's short-term health plans that don't cover pre-existing conditions, they say they will relentlessly focus on health care as we head into the midterms. Still to come on your Suncoast News, now that the storm has passed, a historic jewel of Sarasota has been uncovered. A look at the history behind that property. Plus, the mystery behind hundreds of washed-up jellyfish in the Carolinas explained. Those stories and more coming up next.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Hurricane Michael revealing a piece of Suncoast history on Lido Beach. A historian says there are some pieces of concrete from the old Lido Casino now visible on the beach. ABC 7's Jackie Kelly is live on Lido Beach and tells us why we're seeing these pieces of concrete now. Jackie?
Scott, I'm standing here behind the pavilion where a historian says the casino used to be. He told me that the casino opened in 1940 and was demolished in 1969. It served as the hub for Sarasota's social and cultural life, and once it was demolished, a historian tells me that parts of the concrete were burned, others carted away, and some dumped into the Gulf. And through Michael's storm surge, part of the casino are now visible. And at 5:30, you can hear from that historian as he talks more about the history behind this casino. Back to you.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Jackie. The South Jetty in Venice has reopened now that Hurricane Michael has passed and the flood waters and waves have receded. The City of Venice Public Works staff reopening the jetty walkway and Humphreys Park to the public just after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Let's get back to Jacqueline now for a look at what's trending today.
Scott, cleanup has begun in parts of Florida after Hurricane Michael left its devastation behind. And while reporting on that destruction, ABC's Rob Marciano showed off 4 kittens that were rescued from the storm in Panama City. He says those kittens fell from the roof and the owners had no idea they were even there.
We just discovered them because the couple that lives in this home was telling us their survivor story. They were riding out the storm, and as the ceiling was collapsing on them, these little buggers fell out of the ceiling onto the kitchen floor.
Oh my goodness, you can just hear their little meows right there. Well, he later took to Twitter to ask for help in finding the kittens some shelter and food. Animal rescue organization called Best Friends responded with resources for anyone who finds stray animals in the storm's path. And Tropical Storm Michael turning up something unusual in the Carolinas. Dozens of blue button jellyfish are washing ashore on beaches in Topsail Island in Surf City, North Carolina. But experts say despite their nickname, they're actually not jellyfish. They're actually called porpita and are related to jellyfish. They are typically found in tropical and subtropical waters in the Atlantic. They do sting, however, and can cause some irritation. And take a look at this video of a jet ski trying to navigate through the choppy waters from Hurricane Michael. Felipe Goncalves took this video off of Longboat Key yesterday. The water so rough there, he was actually thrown off of his jet ski. After being thrown from the jet ski, Goncalves was able to climb back on without any injuries. And lastly, a Florida couple got married in Jacksonville's airport as Hurricane Michael moved ashore yesterday. For about 6 months, they made plans to exchange vows at the Tallahassee courthouse where they lived and then fly off to Italy for their honeymoon out of Jacksonville. But county offices, of course, were closed ahead of the storm. And as they exchanged vows in front of complete strangers, they were once again reminded of what brought them together in the first place, adventure. Well, let's send it back to Bob for a look at our First Alert forecast this hour. Bob.
Getting back to basics here along the Sun Coast, and guess what? A cold front is on the way. It's going to be moving through late tonight and tomorrow morning. There's not much to it, but we'll take it. It's going to cool things down a little bit and dry things out considerably, so the humidity will go. Also, it looks like even some 60s expected. Not tonight and tomorrow morning, but Saturday morning. You'll really notice a difference out there, so get out and enjoy it. They're not enjoying this right now in the Carolinas and in Virginia. Very heavy rainfall now, and this continues to head off to the northeast. This record-breaking storm continues to cause all sorts of problems throughout the Carolinas. There's been some rivers that have been above their crest as a result of that heavy rainfall that's been around. Well, there it is, the cold front, the first one of the season, going to march on through. There's some cooler air behind it. The cool air will move on down over us, it looks like, and that will happen basically tomorrow. You'll feel a little bit of a difference, more so on Saturday as that front works through. I know I'm excited about it to see some nice milder temperatures at least. And we've been well above average as of the last 30 days, it seems like, and now things are going to cool down. This is a little prefrontal trough out ahead of it, a few showers with it. It's going to bring us a little bit of rainfall, not a lot. A few spotty showers are possible through this evening. You can see that rain just offshore now of St. Petersburg. I should not say St. Pete, but just north of Anna Maria Island. Some showers off of St. Petersburg, well off into the Gulf of Mexico, but they're progressing in our direction, so don't be surprised by a brief shower this evening. Some heavier rain down to our south. This is more associated with the line that's feeding in to Michael right now. Well, here's the current temperatures. 85 degrees, not too cool there, but notice the at least 85-degree temperature here, but the dew points are much lower there, so that feels like temperature is only at 83. But for us, it's 95. That's what it feels like, and that's a direct result of the moisture content in the atmosphere. It feels like 100 in Orlando. Okay, so we'll take you through time here. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not all that cool, 75 degrees. That's actually a little bit above average for low temperatures. Then we'll move through time in the afternoon. We'll still warm to 88 into the upper 80s expected, but it'll be noticeably drier. The air will be not nearly as humid. And then as we start things off on Saturday, there it is, 67 degrees. Now, it may be close to 70 in some areas, but I think we'll see mid to upper 60s, especially east of I-75, to start the day off on Saturday and Sunday. Just a little bit warmer, but not bad. It's going to be a delightful weekend with no real threat of any significant rainfall anticipated through the weekend. Dry air is going to filter in behind that front, as you see right there. There goes Michael off into the Atlantic, and then we'll stay in this dry sector for at least the next 48 hours. It will moisten up a little bit on Sunday, and we'll get back to near 90 degrees by the start of the work week. So it's not going to be around all that long, but enjoy. Long-range models indicating there's another one coming down in about 7 to 8 days from now, and that one will be a little stronger too, and that's what we'll see, stronger fronts as we move through time. Well, this has been moving through time. I think it's 19 days now. Leslie's been out there as a tropical system. Continues to head off to the southeast, it will, and then eventually off back to the west again. This one here is Nadine getting beat up badly by some shear, and it looks like it won't be around much longer. In fact, it's down to 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to head off to the west. All the models show that, and then eventually breaking up in 2 days into a tropical wave and heading into the Caribbean. We'll watch it. These are the ones you have to watch. You get into the Caribbean, and then you can see what happens there. But Leslie could actually go to the east and then back down to the south and then back to the west. If that happens, it's going to be around for the next 5 days. It's going to get close to setting a record for the most days out there in the Atlantic. We told you this earlier. It's weakening. It's moving to the northeast at 23 now, and will continue to do so. Current conditions, we have 85 degrees. Feels like 97 out there. It's nice, isn't it, for a fall day, but it'll be much better tomorrow as the humidity drops. And as far as the beach and boating forecast goes, we have northwest winds out there, a light chop, and seas running right around 2 feet. The extended forecast then calling for a cold front on Friday, and then notice the temperatures in the 60s to start things off on Saturday. We'll warm only into the mid-80s. That's a little bit below average. And then a slight chance for showers on Sunday. It warms back up pretty quickly to near 90 degrees early next week. Scott?
We'll take it. Thank you, Bob. Well, some people use their birthday dates to pick out lottery numbers, others personally significant numbers, but an aquarium in Orlando is using an octopus. We'll explain next.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up Friday morning live at 9, the Blue Heirloom shows off antiques, oddities, and art from their store. A famous psychic medium reads the future, speaks to those on the other side, and shows us how to be psychic. We learn how to guard against back injuries and ease existing pain, and Epicurean Hotel is in the kitchen. That's coming up tomorrow morning live at 9.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Investigate TV tackles the tough topics.
What happened to my life was awful.
When your health is compromised, we investigate.
They are really drug dealers in white coats.
Corporate greed exposed.
How do you trust them to run this program?
The powerful held accountable with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zurich. We're your watchdog. Search Investigate TV on your Roku device. Download it now.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
This weekend on the ABC7 live stream.
Find out first at 4 with ABC7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC7.
A guided trolley tour in Sarasota will soon be the first of its kind here in the Suncoast. A local entrepreneur has begun Discover Sarasota Trolley Tours. Starting later this month, visitors or residents who want to learn more about Sarasota can take one of the 4 guided tours. The options include a city theme, a circus theme, or a ghost tour just in time for Halloween. Tickets start at $35, and for more information, just look for this story on our website, mysuncoast.com. And it's a tough idea to wrap your arms around, even if you have 8 of them, but it's exactly what the Sea Life Orlando Aquarium decided to do. Their octopus picked numbers for a Mega Millions ticket, and the numbers he picked: 1, 18, 35, 36, 41, and 70. Now, if those numbers are right, they will add up to a much bigger number, $548 billion to be precise, if he was right and is the winner. That's the estimated amount of Friday's Mega Millions drawing, with a cash option of $309 million. It's the 3rd highest Mega Millions jackpot on record. All right, back to Jacqueline now in the newsroom for a look at some of the other stories we're working on.
Scott, for months, the red tide has been killing our sea life and carrying toxins toward land. But did Hurricane Michael help break up some of that red tide? Coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear from Mote Marine Laboratory and what the hurricane means for red tide on the Suncoast. Plus at 6, all hospitals in the hurricane-impacted region have reported some form of critical failure. What crews here are doing to help. And at 7, why some former law enforcement officers are questioning how so many officers and school guardians were hired so quickly. And also a reminder tonight, ABC 7 will be hosting the must-watch debate of the season. The race for Congress in the 16th Congressional District is one of the highest profile races in the country. Both candidates, Republican Vern Buchanan and Democrat David Shapiro, will face off in their one and only debate Tuesday, October 23rd at the Trapezoid, only on ABC 7 at 7. If you want to submit your own questions, you can send your ideas via Twitter to Alan Cohn at Alan M. Cohn on Twitter. Now let's get a check on our final forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, if you're heading for the beach tonight, things looking much better, much improved. There's a slight chance at 30% for an isolated shower as a weak frontal boundary works its way down, but skies generally partly cloudy, and we'll have a northwest wind at 5 to 10 later on this evening. The sunset will be at 7:06, and just in time, a cold front is on the way. Winds will start to switch and actually bring in some drier air. The lesson Friday looks to be pretty nice. Temperatures will still be a little bit on the warm side. We'll go through that transition day, but Saturday I think is going to be an outstanding day with temperatures into the mid-80s for highs as opposed to upper 80s to low 90s, and there won't be much of a heat index because the humidity will be so low and those winds will be rather light as well. So things looking pretty good on that front. As far as the radar picture goes, there's that weak frontal system right now moving to the southeast out ahead of the actual cold front itself. You can see some spotty showers around there, already starting to move in to near Anna Maria Island. More on all of our forecasts as far as the tropics go coming up in a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We'll see you again at 5.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.